What's going on, fam? We are live and in full effect on this good Saturday morning. Happy Saturday, Sky Squad. We are back in the building. Okay, so we're going to be talking about Bell Collective. I got a question for you guys. Marie says that Kerri, Miss Kerri, baby. Marie says she's a liar. Liar, liar, pants on fire. But I want to know if you agree. Do you agree with Marie Monroe? Doctor Marie Monroe. Dr. Marie Monroe. Okay. Do you agree with Dr. Marie Monroe that Miss Kerri Baby is the liar, liar, pants on fire? Drop it in the chatterization or not, right? I'm going to tell you what I think. But first, we're going to get into the Melody Cherie of it all. She is revealing a bit more tea with regards to this situation that she has been posting on her IG stories about. And I think you guys can actually go to her Patreon now and get more details. So I'm just going to review what she has posted most recently, and you guys can do with that information as you wish. My job at this point is keeping you up to date. So she says, this morning after another emotional one, and I'll kind of go through all of these individually, right? Just so you can see that this is still here. You guys can read it for yourselves, right? It's a little bit hard to stop the screen share when the stories are moving, but here is the receipt, and we'll talk about that in just 1 second. But I wanted you guys to see that it was here. You can go to her page and you can see this information clearly for yourself. Okay. So here is what we have gleaned thus far. And I'm gonna read it to you guys from my vantage point so that you guys can understand exactly what she's saying here. And again, I apologize. I can't stop the way the stories move on the computer. So she says, this morning, another emotional one. I slept for over 10 hours last night. Hashtag exhaustion. Hashtag emotional distress. Hashtag truth always prevails. So much to consider. Decisions enough. You know what makes me think about that movie with Jennifer Lopez? Somebody asked, I think it was somebody asked online what our favorite J-Lo movie was. And I was like, enough. Anyway, when you see someone is she continues, when you see someone is spiraling, unhinged, reality TV and reality no longer able to be separated in their minds. Now it's affecting everyone. You emotionally ask their employer to step in. Nothing. So would the employer be the production company or the network? That's my question. Because I don't know that the employer would be able to do anything in this situation because they're both not cast members, but I'm assuming Melody is still a owner or maybe producer, a creator credit. So that could also potentially be what she's referring to. But I don't know what they would do in this instance because it's not something that's happening unless we can't see it happening on camera. I don't know. The courts don't step in enough, but to an extent they do because they see it too. But they also don't want to strip all rights, but still want you to co-parent. So this clearly has to do with the custody situation. She says, so you try to because you don't want to be held in contempt of court because you know the bastard is keeping a record waiting to file something. Sheesh, you can't win for losing decisions. But it's enough false reporting? No. So I'm assuming she's saying, is what she is providing here false? I'm assuming that's a no. She says, I just dropped the first receipt in my Patreon, and yes, everyone legally who needs it has it. I've always been transparent with my journey since day one. May my experiences continue to help those of you dealing with your own. Baby father turned baby mama. So then she drops what looks to be a receipt. I'm going to show it actually again so you guys can just get a glimpse of it. These are the posts on her IG stories. You can see that they're here. Again, I apologize. I cannot make the IG story stop for whatever reason. I'm working with this new software and I'm still adjusting to it. So you guys will just kind of have to look through it. These are the things that I've already read through. And this is the receipt that we're about to get into now so that you guys, again, can see it because she posted it. And then she says, gonna be public, huh? So what it appears to be is this. She says, for the full context, you know where to go. Can't make this up if I tried. Hashtag lifetime movie. So she tags the date 4/12/2026. And the quote in this document, or it looks to be an email potentially, reads, I'm happy you said this. I will begin my process immediately after, which will be public, and it will keep you in Alabama for a while. Thanks. And then the name at the bottom says Martell. So I'm assuming this is from Martell, right? Allegedly, I guess I should say, because I until I can see the full receipt, we're gonna take her word for it. All right. Then she says, gonna be public, huh? With the sad face. So something is going on definitely behind the scenes with Melody and Martell. It's unfortunate that you I guess, for me, I would think that it has been so long. I mean, when you really think about it, their divorce ended, or the marriage ended, and in an ideal world, the two people would be able to move forward with their lives and co-parent. And you know, you may not like the person anymore. You may not really truly get along with them, but in the perfect world, the two people can find a happy medium to be able to coexist for the sake of the kids. Um, I don't know I don't know what would happen if perhaps she's wanting to move someplace else. For that, I could probably understand having so many memories tied to that particular place and maybe wanting to grow and evolve. And I know she's doing film and television and stuff like that. So I'm assuming maybe a move to like maybe Atlanta or Miami or something like that. I mean, I really don't know. All I know is what we have here. So if you guys are subscribed to our Patreon, you guys can find the information there. Okay. All right. So there is that. Let's get into Bell Collective. Before I get into that, guys, listen. I don't know if some of you guys may know this and some of you guys may not. But we are hosting our Faceless Masterclass today at what time it gonna be at? What time it's gonna be at? It is going to be at 12 noon. So in about an hour, we're going to start our faceless class. This is for anybody that wants to create faceless content, but maybe you did not know how to start. Maybe you don't know where to start. Maybe you are confused. Maybe you've been wanting to do this for a long time and you don't want to be on camera. This is definitely going to be the class for you. It will be held live on Zoom so that you guys can ask as many questions as you want, and you can get all of the details from me live. What's working, what has not, what has worked, what hasn't worked. All of that information, I'm going to be able to get that to you so that you can actually start your faceless content journey as soon as the class is over, if you like. So I'm going to drop the link here in the chat, and you guys can hop on into class if you so choose. Okay. There's the link. Do with it what you will. Okay. But do I do any replays? Somebody asked this earlier. I do not do any replays. They may go in a community that I am currently building, but they're not going to be, I don't really provide a lot of the replays because the people are asking personal questions that are related to their situation. So I really try to be judicious about how I share that information, since people are asking sometimes personal questions about what they want to do, and that's what we want to provide in the live Q&A session, is a personal experience. So you shine bright. If you wanted to do this, then the questions that I'm responding to would be to you. Okay. Now let's move on to the Bell Collective. Bell Collective is back, y'all. So let's get into the episode in and of itself. It's called, this says on my end, it says season 7, episode 11, Under the Influencer. Marie's lunch goes off the rails as Letitia's friend Shantae is labeled outside noise. Glenn gets advice from a divorce lawyer, and Kerri collaborates with Latrice on an influencer event instead of Letitia, sparking a series of arguments with Marie. Okay, So much of okay, let's get into the overall order of events. The first thing that we need to deal with is Shantae. Okay, Shantae is Letitia's friend who has come into the collective, and Shantae has once, her biggest thing has been being a supporter to Letitia and being Letitia's backup, so to speak, which is kind of what she says. She's has a history of being around the group, so that is true. The camera does flash back to all the times throughout the years that Shantae has been a part of the mix, but never vocal in the scenes. And so this past season, we saw her question Latrice about, whether or not she felt like she needed to apologize to Letitia about what happened with Amanda, right? Because Amanda was also a friend of Latrice's. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to go back on some things with Amanda because Amanda was the one who was friends with Latrice, and I think also maybe her hairstylist, who revealed last season that Glenn had been texting her, or they had had some exchanges of some sort. Now, this being a friend of Latrice's, when this information comes to light, it is blamed on Latrice and Cliff because it is done at their event. Technically, Latrice and Tambra knew about this, but they also didn't really kind of want to get involved. All right. Now, Shantae, on the other hand, is kind of coming in as Letitia's friend, which I don't have a problem with because I feel like everybody, if we're gonna have friends across the board, then everybody can have a friend. Marie has S with the mess, right? Essie don't really have no mess, to be quite honest with you, but she is, Marie's friend. We don't see a lot of her anymore, to be quite honest with you, and I think I don't know. For some reason, I feel like there's something. Now that I think about it, we're kind of missing the Essie element of this show. Um, then you have, well, I guess those are really the only friends that we really have, right? With this particular show. Whereas it seemed like Bell Collective Birmingham had a lot more friends involved, but we'll see how that plays out next season. Okay. So I have to take you back through the friend thing in order to give you my thoughts on Shantae. Shantae being a part of the mix, to me, I'm not bothered by it because I do think that you need friends on these shows in order to expand the world of a show, right? You want to build out a world in a particular show. Like for Selena, something that to me is missing are her daughters, right? We don't see a lot of Sanjay and the girls as Soguchi used to say, the girls, we don't see a lot of them anymore. And I feel like that's what's missing from Selena's story overall. We don't get a lot of that, right? Um, so these other people who have a place in the cast member's life, we're not really getting a lot of. And I feel like I missed that element on this particular show because it makes a big difference. So I say all this to say that I'm not mad that Letitia has someone who backs her up. But the problem is that not only is if I don't know why Amanda wasn't at the reunion last season, but she should have been because she should have been able to answer to whatever it is that came up in the reunion about what she said or did during the season. Now, I don't know why she was not there. I have my assumptions, but if my assumption could be she was not asked there because maybe someone did not want her there, for which I could understand that. Okay. Now that Shantae is a part of the mix and Shantae is bringing up the rumors about Tambra and this guy, and also questioning Latrice. Do I think she had the right to question Latrice? I don't think that was necessarily problematic, so to speak, because what's good for the goose has to also be good for the gander. But now, if we're taking away friends for asking questions in I feel like a very Marlo-esque way. Marlo used to really get the party started. And y'all either loved her or y'all loathed her for it until she came full time, and then feel like the people loathed her for it, right? But in a friend role, it kind of works because that person is able to really inject themselves in conversations wherein sometimes the cast members might want to be politically correct and may not want to really get into the mix. Okay. So I can also understand now that if they're going to say, well, if we can't have Amanda around, then we can't have a Shantae around. When you look at it from that perspective, I understand what they're saying. But did I mind Shantae? No, because I did feel like she might not have been your favorite, but I didn't have a problem with Letitia having some level of backup. But I don't know that Letitia really needs backup, to be quite honest with you. But I'm sure it's nice to have. And it seems like she was still always in the background with Letitia. It seems like now she just won't be able to be in the background at all. Because Tambra is like, West Side Tam does come out. And again, I don't see, and that's why I'm saying I didn't mind Shantae a little bit, because sometimes you need a little West Side Tam to come out. And I understand in real life, we don't want those sides of ourselves to come out. We really don't. So they still at this luncheon that Marie has put together to determine what noise is happening in the collective. So when Tambra and Shantae get into it and Tambra decides, you know what, I'm not even about to be here, I do respect that Tambra and Latrice are actually like real friends in real life, because that tells me that there is something here. I want to know that the people in the group are actually real friends. So as Tambra leaves out of respect for Latrice, I kind of can understand it a little bit, because what I'm certain of is if Amanda can't be around, then neither can this girl. So I get that. I get it. I get it at this point. I understand it. Do I like it? Not necessarily, because I feel like sometimes you need those people that can poke and prod at people, not at the people, but let's not bring rumors that are maybe damaging to a person's job, right? Because that rumor about Tambra and the guy could have been damaging to her job. And I think doing that with somebody's occupation is is too much. So at this point, she gone. Okay. But the question that Letitia is left with is, would you guys have done the same for me? Would people have done the same for me if I if if there was a sister circle being brought together and it was somebody that I didn't like, would I get the same treatment? My only question is, as a viewer of the show, but did that not already happen with Manda Girl? So it's a valid question that Letitia has, because I do think that there's a world where Marie may not have shown up if there was somebody there that wasn't, I think that Marie may have given her that. But Marie is also sometimes, and I'm going to give Marie this, Marie can also be the type of person that moves to the beat of her own drum, and sometimes she will show up, especially in these latter seasons where I feel like she is trying to work on her relationship with Latrice, or at least the two of them be in a space where they can be cool, which we like much better, because I can't take another Latrice versus Marie season ever again. Okay. Now, I say all of this to say this. When Letitia asked that question, what occurred to me was, I was like, well, dang, would they? But then I thought about it. Well, I mean, we don't see Amanda around her anymore. So maybe it happened. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe people did stand in the gap for you. All right. But maybe that was behind the scenes. Okay. So the next thing we see is Glenn going to see a divorce attorney, he's just going to see an attorney about this post-nuptial agreement that Letitia has brought up. This is a tough one, because I think that I don't have a problem with him going to see the post-nuptial attorney, or finding out more information about the post-nuptial agreement, because if she's already maybe been thinking about it, then he should probably think about it too. I think that he is misplacing his I think that he's misunderstanding what Letitia is saying with regards to what he provides. I don't think that Letitia has any problems with what he provides. I think Letitia has problems with how he thinks. Okay? Those are two different things. Just because you are a provider does not mean that you aren't don't think like a caveman at the end of the day. Because a lot of people will think that, well, I'm providing. That's all I need to do. That's all that is there in a relationship. I'm the man. I'm supposed to provide, right? And you're supposed to be my you're supposed to be what I want you to be, right? You're supposed to lay down when I want you to lay down. You're supposed to, do what I do as I say. I'm supposed to be able to make sure that I'm managing your career. I'm supposed to be your overlord and your overseer, right? It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. And the sooner he realizes that, the sooner they will both likely be happier in this situation. But until he removes some of that caveman like thinking, then he's just gonna end up in the same space that he is now, and it's gonna be a cyclical thing. And then Letitia also is gonna have to at some point make some real decisions about whether or not she wants to stay in this situation or not. Now, I understand that some of what we see is TV, but I also think as a viewer of the show, what can't happen is it's almost like there's a tension that comes with watching a television show. It would be like watching an episode of Law and Order SVU and there's no resolution at the end. And sometimes that happens. There's very few episodes that happens. And we understand that sometimes in situations in life, there is not an ending that you like, right? But it would be like if something went on and 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 on, and we never solved the case. We, as the audience, would be like, I am not watching the next season of Law and Order SVU because y'all have not solved this case from 1992, and we are still talking about it. Right. So in TV and when we're watching as viewers, and I understand this is their lives, but if there's no resolution, if we keep stretching this rubber band, at some point either the rubber band has to break or two people have to let go. Something has to happen because it is an extended period of tension that we never get any resolve on. And as viewers of a television show, we want resolve, okay? But it's never resolved. So there's that. Side note, it's 11:11. Y'all send up a prayer. Yes, thank you, God, for the abundance. Okay. Meanwhile, yes, Ellie, we hate cold cases. Okay, we hate them. Let it go. All right, Jimmy. I literally said she came to him with the post nuptial thing. I literally said that. So this is not anything that I didn't say. There's no narrative that we have here as content creators. There's no plot. There's no scheme. There's no narrative. There's what in the K Michelle are we talking about? There's no scheme here. There is no scheme, bro. There is no scheme. No, Meredith. No. Like I appreciate you commenting, but bro, like there's no scheme. Like I hate when people like they have like y'all sometimes people have this thing in our minds if some of us as creators happen to have a similar mindset. I barely get a chance to watch anybody else. Although I support them all. So if we have the same opinion, that means we're seeing something similar, right? We're seeing some similar things from our worldview, right? I don't, I can respect that you have a different worldview. You can definitely feel free to tell us that, but to perpetuate this idea that there's a grand plot that we're all secretly in an encrypted email list. And also too, I have met Glenn in real life. I l- if you when you meet Glenn in real life, you love Glenn. He has such a cool personality. But we're talking about what we see on a TV show, okay? And we're talking about based on what we see, what I feel like needs to happen. I'm not saying Glenn's a bad person. I'm simply saying that I think that he thinks in a certain pattern and she's tired of that pattern. But there's no plot. We're not back here plotting. Right. The YouTube Illuminati, right? Like what? It's not even that serious. Like I literally watch the show. I come here and I talk about it. And y'all, I'm on to the next thing. For real, for real. Like, I'm on to the next thing. So it's there's no plot. there's no narrative. Nah, it's just me. And I just literally go off the dome with what I'm thinking. I don't even have nothing written down. Okay. Yes, we're in a group chat telling each other what to think, how to move. What did Nene say? Remember Nene was mocking Candy? Oh God. Jimmy, I have to thank you though for giving me a good laugh today. Um anyway, listen, here's my thing. I I- I promise y'all there is let me just say this. I see some of y'all comments. Y'all, some of y'all really think that there's like a thing. Like there is like a secret society of checks being passed out. And I'm like, I must have missed my check in the mail. Like, where is my check? Where is my check? Ike, where is my money? Okay. Was I supposed to be getting paid for what I think outside of what YouTube is decides that I'm getting in revenue, ad revenue or whatever? Like, is that what's supposed to happen? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? If y'all, since y'all know about it, since the people who in the chat saying the bloggers this, the bloggers are getting this, where is my money? Okay. Because I am either not in that group chat or I'm being left out. Am I being left out of the mix? Are the people plotting against me? Norman. And see, I blame you. I blame you not on your job. Yes, you. The people somebody said you in the chat. Now Norman talking about y'all snitching. I can't take it. This is too much for me today. Anyway, name them. Woo, y'all, what is happening? Oh, today, what is going on? My God, today. Norman got the check. Thief. Ooh, you gonna be fired. These people keep telling on you, you about to be fired. Yeah, you. Anyway. Sharon said, get your money. Where it at, Sharon? I got 100 down. Anyway, and who writing the check? Who? So y'all know what's funny? I think we as people who recap the shows, I always feel like we're all kind of like coworkers a little bit because we kind of deal with some of the same things. And I think it took me a minute to realize, like, it's not just me. This people you're saying this to, right? Because people used to say, "Oh, you're being paid by this person. You're being paid. You're being paid." And I used to wonder, like, why would you think that? And then I started to ask myself, like, am I missing the money? Where is the money at? Where is it? And then I started kind of having conversations with other people, and other people was like, "Oh, this is just what they say." Okay, okay, I got it. This kind of comes with the territory. Okay, it makes sense now. Whatever. It's still weird to me. Like, wouldn't it be easier for the person just to get on YouTube themselves and say what they want to say? Like, pay me though. I, I don't even get paid when I do interviews with these people. Okay, I don't get paid for the interview. So what? Ay, ay, ay. Meanwhile, the next thing that we got to deal with is Miss Kerri Baby is, she's the influencer. Okay. So she's doing an influencer event for Black Girl Vitamins. And she is going to be hosting this event with Latrice. Now, she invites Marie and Letitia to lunch to let them know this and to informally invite them. I personally don't see a problem with her partnering with Latrice. I could see a world where she would host this event with Letitia, and I could see it going really well because Letitia does a lot of women's empowerment, types of events. So it would make sense if she partnered with her. I could see that. They've already partnered together for an event. They could do it again. She could have very well invited her, or she could have maybe chosen somebody else to get involved with as well, like a Latrice. Now, the difference is, and I do agree with this, is that Latrice has a product-based business with Goddess Links. So given that it is a product-based business, I'm maybe thinking that maybe she would have thought that, okay, there could be some synergy here. Maybe there's something that I can learn about how to work with products. And this, I really don't know. All I know is that I don't see a problem with it. And the girl has to be able to mix it up with some of the other ladies, because if you don't, then you kind of just pigeonhole yourself in a certain space within the group. I don't see a problem with it. I'm not sure why Marie sees a problem with it. I think actually the saying that you're choosing a side. Now, here's what I can understand. I can understand if Letitia feels like she is alone in the group. I can see how, in tandem with what happened at the Sister Circle brunch, I can see how Letitia could feel a little slighted personally. But the fact that Marie feels this for her is a little bit questionable to me. I get that Marie is, also being a ride or die. I also get that Marie and Kerri are kind of like oil and water a little bit. I also kind of feel like Marie was just really honestly kind of hazing her a little bit, because Kerri really hasn't had to get into it very much on this show. And she's kind of had it lightweight compared to most people who have come onto this show. So I think that Marie was basically just giving her the real Bell Collective treatment and basically putting her in a position and seeing what she does, because Kerri's also got to be able to handle herself in these more hardcore and intense situations for which she has had barely any. Okay. So I think that this was more of a test versus anything else, because otherwise it does come across as rather childish to say, oh, well, you chose a side. Well, there are no sides. If Letitia and Latrice are supposed to be working on their friendship, what sides are you choosing at this point? Because that's where we're supposed to be. The whole thing about the last scene was we're working on the collective. But how can we be working on the collective if for real, like we got to choose sides? So they get into like a heated debate, and then it kind of goes back to Kerri and this telling of Selena's of this business about the accusations online about Selena's future husband, and where it came from. Who heard Marie telling Selena at Kerri's event that this was going to be a potential thing that Selena would have to deal with. Who heard her say that? I don't know. Did Kerri misspeak about the situation? Maybe she did. I completely, to be honest with you, every time they talk about it, I'm a little bit confused. So I'm kind of like, I don't really get it. I mean, what did Kerri overhear this? And then she told Latrice, then she told Cliff. I don't know what happened. And to be honest with you, I really don't care. At the end of the day, did I believe this man was like out here rocking the boat on Selena? I didn't believe it. But at the end of the day, that's not up to me, right? That's up to Selena to believe. If she had already dealt with this situation, then it is what it is. But I also understand how these things go. And when somebody says it on TV, whoever brings it up in the group is the person who is now bringing it to the show, who's making it a topic of conversation. So now it will live on and it will grow legs. That's the way these things happen on these shows, right? So I get the upset about it, but to be honest with you, I feel like if you feel like it's a lie, don't chase it. Nobody, okay? Don't chase it. But here we are yet again rehashing this and whether or not Kerri is a liar. Now, Marie feels like she is. Letitia is looking at her sideways. This is and I do have, for me, Letitia, this is where I feel like we've got to have a conversation, is because you felt a certain type of way about this thing too. Now, regardless of whether or not you realize how it would look if you said it, you still felt a way. And I think that there's something to be said for, even if you feel like, if I say this, it's going to look juvenile. But if I don't say it, your feelings still matter about it, right? So if you feel like you're hurt by this situation, like for real, then you should probably just come out and say it versus trying to just smooth everything over later on. Because you did feel a certain type of way. You did make a face. You were looking at her with a side eye. So just be real about it, because that's what's going to actually make the collective grow stronger, is if you are all honest about how you feel, either in the moment or when you have the next opportunity to do so. Okay. So even though if Letitia was saying in the moment, well, Marie feels like this, I don't. But in your confessionals, you tell us you really do feel that way. Now we know how you really feel, so you should have said it then. So y'all can't be mad at Kerri for, continuing on this path if you don't ever pull her to the side and you don't ever say something. Because that's almost like saying, if you got a problem and I don't know about it, then you have a problem. That's you. I don't have the problem. You do. So until you make it known to me, I can't even fix the problem. So Kerri can't even do anything about it. Not that she could anyway at this point, because she's already invited Latrice to do it. But even if she were to want to, she doesn't have the opportunity, because you have not said that it's a problem for you. Okay? So moving forward, Latrice, Tambra, and Selena have their sit down together as well to recap for Latrice what happened with the Sister Circle brunch. And essentially we learned that from Tambra, the reason why she's riding so hard for Latrice right now is because Latrice has been there for her she's been calling her every day since her dad has passed. She's been showing up in ways that she didn't necessarily have to, and she really appreciates it. So I am not mad at this, because I feel like I get there. I sort of can understand this level of friendship. But for her, she surmises that Letitia keeps chaos around her, i.e. Shantae, i.e. her relationship with Glenn. So she's unable to really understand friendships that don't exist in chaos. And I was like, ooh. Now, also, Tambra, you might want to tell that to Letitia, because she's going to see it at some point. Okay? Like, y'all all got to have these conversations. And I think that there still needs to be a conversation had with the group without Shantae there and all members present, because y'all still need to get y'all feelings out about what has happened so far as a group without her in the mix, because that hasn't happened yet. So the next thing that happens is everybody shows up at the influencer event, hugs and kisses. I did like at the end of the scene at brunch though, this is the reason why I said I felt like Marie was testing Kerri, is because right at the end of it, she was still able to give her a high five. And I think what Marie exhibits on this show now is the ability to be a proper reality TV star, right? And that is, I can come into a scene, I can light that mama jamma all the way up, but I can still leave on a positive note with you. But I'm gonna still shade you. I'm gonna still show up at your events because we got a job to do. But I'm gonna give you HE double hockey sticks along the way. Okay, that's what I think Marie is doing at this point, personally speaking. I agree. DGB says she was trying to activate her. That's what I really think. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it because it's drama, but it ain't too deep. And I feel like in this day and age, with the world that we live in now, we need that. We want the drama that doesn't feel so deep that they can kind of keep it moving with. That's what makes a show good, in my opinion, right now. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what she's doing. She's making everybody earn their paychecks. So I'm not mad at it. I mean, I got to point out the problem that I see with the way she did. What I think the logic is flawed, but what she did was that's what I think she was. We gonna make something pop today. You gonna work today, okay? Kerri hosts her event. It's for influencers. I saw Melanie, who was also used to be a friend of, I think, Latrice's, and maybe probably a friend to all of them, but she was also at the influencer event as well for Black Girl Vitamins. Essentially, all the ladies show up. There are some activities that are, I guess, meant to be fun team building activities to see how the ladies work together, I guess, to showcase that, women can work together. But, Marie is kind of like, well, what does this have to do with finding the influencer for the brand? And, to that I say, I guess you need some activities. I don't know. I'm kind of ambivalent about the activities, but what I will also say is that at the end of the day, it seems like everybody had a good time. And now it's time for the girls to address the drama. And Marie gets right to it when the girls are by themselves. And she's like, I just thought that was a bunch of fluff. And, Kerri, the thing about Kerri is, and I'm going to tell you this, Kerri to me is not necessarily a reality TV personality. And I don't mean this in a bad way. Kerri just seems like a very nice woman. Like, I mean, I don't know whether or not that makes her the best or the most entertaining personality, but she just comes across as like, I'm just a really nice woman. Like, I can't explain it any further than that. And I'm not trying to down her. I'm simply saying she seems like a fun mom, wife, friend to know, good person to know, but is she the reality TV personality that is gonna like throw down with you? Like, she's just not. I don't know if she's built for. I mean, I can't say what she's built for. Let me not say that. I don't know if she's gonna give you those reality TV moments. And everybody does this differently. So it's super hard to say who you got to do it like this. You got to do it like that. Some people are just going to always just be just good people. I mean, I think that, and I just think that's who she is. And I think that the other ladies position her as someone who miscommunicates things. I don't know that she does. I just don't know that she is going to stand 10 toes down on something that really doesn't really affect her day-to-day life like she's supposed to. Does that make sense? So this thing with Selena and did she carry some bones? I think she did. Did she might she have switched up her story? Maybe she did. But I really just feel like she just wasn't trying to get nobody in trouble. And sometimes that makes for good reality TV because that's kind of, well, no, I won't equate her to Kayla on Bell Collective Birmingham because I think she's a bit more mischievous. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean I think she's a bit more mischievous. Where I feel like Kerri is just stepping in landmines. That's what I feel like is happening here. And so when it comes up, it's time to address elephants in the room. Latrice, who is also seasoned at this, knows to tell the group, well, Marie, you said that she's a liar. Kerri's a liar. You said that, right? Marie takes this in stride like a true reality TV personality does. And it's like, well, I mean, yeah, she does. And it's all good, right? It's all good. Now, Kerri handles all this with ease, actually. She doesn't become undone. She doesn't she doesn't fall apart, but she also doesn't really react much. So, and I think that's kind of what I mean. Like, you're not going to get I don't think you're going to get those big reactions from her. So that's going to be interesting to watch to see how entertaining that actually is. And maybe you need that on this show. I don't know. I'm still kind of watching. Again, she seems like a great lady. She does. I think we're going to get a lot of action out of her not her stepmom, her mother-in-law. Okay. Now that's a reality TV personality right there. But we'll see that in the coming episodes, I believe. At the end of the day, the ladies, I mean, they kind of pull it back to this. Well, we're supposed to be a collective. We're supposed to be a collective. We're supposed to be a collective. You are, but you're not really. And Letitia, I think it has to start with you. You have to start saying exactly how you feel in those moments. If Kerri is saying that you look like you felt you were looking at her with a stank face, and you realize that, and you got to know that you were, and you got to know that you felt something about it, you should just simply say that. Because I think that vulnerability right there is what is going to set the stage for the rest of the ladies to start to be vulnerable too. But if you guys just keep skirting past the chaos and just sort of glossing over the real true issues, but always reverting back to, well, we've got to be a collective. We've got to be a collective. You can't collect nothing if you are not really being honest about what's really going on and how you really feeling, no matter how it might be perceived. But that's just me, okay? Literally, that lady is trying to keep some class, have some class, and keep Brick and Spoon open. That's it. That's it. That's it. Okay? So anyway, those are my thoughts about Bell Collective this week. I'm glad it's back. I mean, I felt like it was a good episode in terms of, I feel like they know what to do. Everybody knows what to do, how to move, right? Yeah. I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied with it. Thank you guys for tuning in on a good Saturday morning. For those of you guys, again, who are interested in our faceless content class, definitely tap in at 12 p.m., 12 to 1:30. We're just going to go hard. Want to get you everything that you need to get. The link is in the description. It's also in the chat right now, so you guys can click on that. And like I said, for some of y'all, I will see you at 12. And for some of y'all, I will see you in the next video. But don't miss out on class because it's about to be lit. All right. I will catch y'all in the next episode of Reality Mystery. We always trying to figure out something on this channel. I'll catch y'all next time.